But what? We got Mr. Cowboy is here. We're starting the year off early with this, aren't we? Matt Bonnet, Jim Gazzolo. What?
Hey, I wore it to football and just dominant win there. So, hey, I'm going to keep it going.
Behind us are getting ready for the Kids' Day, which would be Monday night. Wednesday night, we show this tape. So on Thursday, there will be a doubleheader, men's and women's basketball, as the season kind of starts off in full here. You got basketball going. You got football with a 31-3 win. Matt, busy week, but really, let's start with football on 31-3 victory over Commerce.
Yeah.
Commerce not very good, let's face that, but you're 4-0 at home.
4-0 at home, it's great.
Was it good to get back home?
Yeah, I forgot what it was like. I can remember it was Monday, I think, and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, oh man, I got a game program to put together. I got a flip card to put together, and it's been so long, 6 weeks, 42 days since we've had a home game. So, yeah, it was almost like the first game of the year, trying to get back in the routine. Yeah, but it was great to be back home. It was homecoming. A lot of people came back. A lot of alumni, a lot of former players came back. So, and it was good to get that dominant win.
42 days. I've talked about it. I've written about it. The league did not do you any favors,
right?
Because you did not. You're the number one attendance team. You didn't have anybody or any game through October. It's kind of ridiculous. But just getting back in, being 4-0 at home, that hasn't happened around here in a while.
No, I think the last time we were undefeated at home was 2017 or 2018.
2017.
Yeah, so we were 5-0 in 2017. So, yeah, no, it's great. That true home field advantage, which, I think we've always had here at Cowboy Stadium, and it's great to get that back. And 5 wins, we haven't had that many wins in a season since 2019.
No, and you've got a chance to go 7-5.
Yeah, absolutely.
A real good chance to be 6-6 would be the first year without a losing record since 2019.
Right.
First time to get a winning record since 2019. So there are some positives.
Yeah, absolutely. This team's playing hard, and still got some injuries out there. But Saturday night you saw the running game really explosive. The third most rushing yards in a game in school history, 367. So had over 400 yards rushing, but you got to take away the sacks, the yards lost on sacks. So the net rushing, though, was 367. So, this is a team that's getting the confidence building, and you want to have that. Try to finish out on a good note.
You want to finish out and get something to build in the offseason. Okay, let's go to basketball because this game is an interesting game. You do it. This is the third year in a row where you bring fifth graders this time in from Calcasieu Parish in the area. Really good opportunity for the community to get to know this team. A lot of new faces on this team.
Right.
Kind of a good chance, especially with the fact that after the game they stick around and they do some autographs.
And the kids have a great time. There's nobody that's going to get more invested into a game than little kids.
Little kids out of school.
When the video board says make noise, they're making the noise for sure. So it's a lot of fun for them. And like you said, they get to interact with the players afterwards, get autographs, take pictures. Again, obviously, getting out of school is always fun. But they have a good time, and I think if we could poll them later in the year and we see kids and say, "Hey, did y'all come to the first game?" You'd have a lot of them say yes because they want to come back.
Well, they tug on mom and dad and say, "Hey, this isn't bad," and it gets you an introduction to a student in fifth grade that maybe they stick around. Maybe they've never seen the school before.
They may be playing. I don't know what the youth basketball league is called now. They may be doing that, and they come out and see this, and they decide, hey, maybe that's something I want to keep working on hard with, and make something out of it.
Well, it's a great introduction. Okay, let's go to men's basketball. At South Dakota State tonight, obviously, huge mid-major game. Right off the bat.
Right.
Home on Thursday night against a non-D1, then to Alabama. Next week, Monday night, Alabama, a week from when we're taping.
Right.
An exciting game, an interesting game. But that's the number 2 team in the country. I think you played Michigan State when they were either 1 or 2 a couple years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is going to be the highest ranked team you've played since then.
Yes, absolutely. It'll be a good test. It'll be a good test not only to see where we stack up against a team like that, a potential Final Four team or national championship team, but also to see how these guys, pretty much a new group of guys, how they play together against
handle
a team
environment.
Like that. Absolutely.
This will be an NCAA type tournament.
Absolutely.
Environment. And,
without a doubt. And of course, the South Dakota State game, by the time this airs, we'll know the result of it. But that, obviously will be a tough game too. South Dakota State's got a A lot of new players as well. And one of their top players is a transfer from Washington State.
Yeah, 6'9" or 6'11", 265, I think.
Yeah,
that's not a small guy.
So this team is definitely going to be tested early.
Yeah.
And like Coach Wade has said in several press conferences before, we may not know what this team is going to be until 2 or 3 weeks down the road. He said, but once they start clicking, they're going to be really good.
How fun is it for someone like you that gets to introduce everybody to the teams and that, but also that there's new blood coming into the Legacy Center too? Santa Clara, North Texas.
That's what's exciting about it. No, these kind of teams, the quality teams that are coming in that we haven't been able to get here in the past. We started to last year getting Southern Miss in here and obviously ULL. But to get those kind of quality teams
from outside the area.
Absolutely. It's tremendous, and it shows the respect that McNeese basketball has around the country as well.
Oh, yeah, completely different atmosphere and everything. When we come back, Michael Pittman, McNeese associate head women's basketball coach, will be on here to talk about recruiting for this new team and the future of McNeese State women's basketball after this.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
Welcome to Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where every dish is crafted with fresh ingredients bursting with flavor. Make your date night unforgettable with our authentic Mexican dishes in a cozy and unique setting. Experience our warm and welcoming staff dedicated to ensuring your dining experience is nothing short of exceptional. Unwind at our bar with weekly drink specials perfect for any occasion. Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where great food, people, and drinks come together.
The Cowboys are going to do some really big things. Really big.
McNeese athletes bring big energy, big plays, and big spirit to every game. That's why Lakeside is proud to be such a huge fan. We're a hometown team too, in the business of backing big dreams across our community every day. And we always bank on big wins with McNeese Sports. Go big with Lakeside and McNeese.
New to Lake Charles, but not Louisiana, Mockler Beverage has been a leading Anheuser-Busch distributor for over 35 years. Known for an unwavering commitment to quality and service, we're excited to bring our excellence to Southwest Louisiana. Our exceptional portfolio of brands ensures we have the perfect beverage for every taste and occasion. Experience the Mockler difference, where every sip tells a story of excellence and satisfaction. Mockler Beverage, we serve Southwest Louisiana. For more information or to join the team, go to mocklerbeverage.com.
Welcome back to Polk Nation. Joining us now is Cowgirls Associate Head Coach and Recruiting Coordinator Mike Pittman. Mike, I appreciate you joining us. And man, I tell you what, it's an exciting week, obviously, with the season kicked off on Monday and everything, and of course a full house with the kids and stuff. It's always a great time. But kind of give us a little bit of background of yourself and where you came from and just how you got started in the profession.
Well, I want to say, first of all, thanks for having me. Born and raised in the lower ninth ward of New Orleans. I always tell people that I'm straight from the lower ninth ward of New Orleans. I love my city. This is my 26th year of coaching. I started out in the high school ranks in Louisiana at Grambling Lab, which is now Lincoln Prep, North DeSoto, and 4 years at Mendon. From there, I went to in Texas. Coached at Denton Ryan High School, and also coached 2 years at Dallas Kimball. And then I got my first coaching opportunity way back. I was a student assistant at Grambling State under SWAC Hall of Famer Pat Bibbs. And then from there, I became the recruiting coordinator and assistant coach at Paul Quinn College in Dallas. And we had a great season there. And then I was offered the recruiting coordinator job at Alcorn State University, and so I went there. And after that, I spent 3 years at Northwestern State, came back to Louisiana, and definitely learned things throughout each of my journeys. But now I'm here in Lake Charles, and I'm really, really happy to be here.
So your career kind of just keeps you in the southern part of this region, and how does that help you get to identify these players out there and get to know not only the players but also the coaches to get to recruit them?
Well, I think the biggest thing is for us in this day and age of recruiting, it's all about relationships. And when you have someone like me who has been in this region basically their whole life, you have a chance to encounter either players that you have coached against who now we have on the roster, or you have connection with the high school coaches throughout the state of Texas as well as Louisiana and Mississippi. And then also the AAU coaches in this region as well, and just having those type of connections. Because of that, you have an opportunity to, if you want to, land a kid like how we did this past spring and summer. Because of those relationships, that bodes well in the recruiting process, and so that's the thing that we try to do here.
Gotcha.
Lynn Kennedy's given you a lot of credit in the offseason about changing kind of the culture of and the direction of the recruiting. Being from Louisiana, being in the Southern Conference the last 3 years, how important was it to get back into the basics of the Louisiana, kind of the Texas to New Orleans strip?
Well, I think that's a really great question. I think to your point, and he has said it before. First of all, Coach Kennedy, since I have been here, has treated me like steak sauce, A1. So I'm really, really thankful for him bringing me in the position that I'm in. As regards to recruiting this state, we know that over the past few years, he has knocked on the doors, and unfortunately, haven't been able to get some things his way as far as that. But it kind of goes back to what I was telling Mr. Cowboy hat right here, is that because of my connections and me being able to make those phone calls and get those type of kids, it bodes well, because they're like, oh, Coach Pittman, oh, you're going to be at McNeese? I have a kid who's in the portal, and I know because of our relationship, I know you're going to help take care of her in this transition. And so that's been huge.
A lot of people in town, especially talking about Paris Guillory coming back, kind of opening the door back to the area. One of the things she talked about when I talked to her was this is now a completely different school than it was 3 years ago because of the hurricane recovery, because of the facilities and that. Are you hearing that from other kids, that it's now a place to come to?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And let's make no mistake about it. Paris, when it's all said and done, is going to be a special player here. When I was at Northwestern State, we actually brought her in on a visit, and we was then running, for her, but she chose a different path. But kind of like what Coach Kennedy said, she went off and wanted to experience something else, but her coming back to Lake Charles invigorated this community. And that's the one thing about the Lake Charles community, is that they want to see a winner. And I think her coming home was the first piece, along with the other kids that we received a guy out of JUCO or the transfer portal. And especially with the Louisiana kids, because now everyone is talking about they have Louisiana kids on this roster that can play. And so we want to transfer that excitement to on the court.
The key is, though, that these kids can play. We've had Louisiana kids on the roster that couldn't play sometimes, but these kids, you brought them back into the portal. A lot of them went to other places, but you stayed in touch with these guys. Is that how it kind of works? Is even though they go off to other, you kept that relationship open?
Yeah. So in my recruiting criteria, when I recruit a player, and if they decide to go somewhere else, I always let them know that during the recruiting process, even though you did not choose me or us or whatever school I was at, because of our relationship and the openness of our communication in it, if something was to ever happen on your end, in which that you got in the portal, you know that you could give me a call, and if there's something available for us on the roster, that we would definitely take a look at it, and if you're a right fit, then you'll be definitely welcome here.
When we come back on Polk Nation, we'll have more with Mike Pittman about recruiting and this season after this.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Ever since I was young, I've known what I wanted to do. Sure, I had some guidance along the way. Thanks, Mom and Dad. But eventually, I had all I wanted. Family, career. It went by fast. Now I'm here. Retirement. And thanks to sound financial planning, it will be all I hoped for. And our children will have a secure legacy. For me, retirement is the next great chapter in my life.
Ferdinandson Financial Group. Let us help you make a plan.
Welcome to Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where every dish is crafted with fresh ingredients bursting with flavor. Make your date night unforgettable with our authentic Mexican dishes in a cozy and unique setting. Experience our warm and welcoming staff dedicated to ensuring your dining experience is nothing short of exceptional. Unwind at our bar with weekly drink specials perfect for any occasion. Nogales Mexican Cuisine and Bar, where great food, people, and drinks come together.
The Cowboys are going to do some really big things. Really big.
McNeese athletes bring big energy, big plays, and big spirit to every game. That's why Lakeside is proud to be such a huge fan. We're a hometown team too, in the business of backing big dreams across our community every day. And we always bank on big wins with McNeese Sports. Go big with Lakeside and McNeese.
New to Lake Charles, but not Louisiana, Mockler Beverage has been a leading Anheuser-Busch distributor for over 35 years. Known for an unwavering commitment to quality and service, we're excited to bring our excellence to Southwest Louisiana. Our exceptional portfolio of brands ensures we have the perfect beverage for every taste and occasion. Experience the Mockler difference, where every sip tells a story of excellence and satisfaction. Mockler Beverage, we serve Southwest Louisiana. For more information or to join the team, go to mocklerbeverage.com.
We're back with Mike Pittman, McNeese State Associate Head Basketball Coach of the women's team starting off this season this year. Matt, you had a question about this?
Yeah, talk about recruiting. I know every sport has the way that they identify players and everything. Football has 7-on-7 in the summer. Baseball has a summer league. Basketball has the AAU. And, there's some times where you go to a place, they kind of restricted on what you can do in recruiting, not per rules, but maybe the staff or whatever has, restrictions, we're going to just do this and this and this. Kind of talk about, if you have any restrictions, what those are, and how important is AAU?
Well, first of all, AAU is very important for us, and the reason why is because for high school kids who are playing, sometimes their schedule doesn't match up with our schedule to go watch, either because they may be local or we may be away on a trip, or vice versa. The big thing for us in recruiting when I came here was to make sure that a couple of things, that we identify the Louisiana talent that's here, that's high school, and also identify the ones for years to come, and also the ones who are actually that may have been in the portal. When I got here, Coach Kennedy he said, hey, with you being my recruiting coordinator and the associate head coach, one of the things that I really need you to do, I want you to do is, whoever we offer and recruit, we need to make sure that we are present at their game. So whenever we have the time and the dates allowed by the NCAA to go visit a prospect, we did that all this summer, along with bringing in the newcomers from the transfer portal. From April 1st, when I was officially hired, to July, minus any day, any week that was available for recruiting, we had a prospect on the campus for a visit. So we was really intentional and make sure we got quality players out of the portal and also quality kids that are high school recruits to come and visit McNeese.
So your range for recruiting in terms of there are none. Just go find the best players. You want to look at the locals first, the state, and then you just find the best players.
Oh, absolutely. And in the state of Louisiana, each year it all depends on, just to be honest with you, your needs assessment has to be greater than your wants assessment, because there are a lot of outstanding high school kids in the state of Louisiana. But we cannot have so many, for example, guards in which that we don't address our post player situation and stuff like that, and vice versa. So we may have to get a post player from out of state, maybe possibly out of the region.
Right.
For example, like Wilnie Joseph, who plays for us now. Now, she may have played for Louisiana Lafayette, but she was born and raised in Indianapolis, but also lived in Atlanta. Right. But because of our relationship, when she got into the portal, we was able to land her. And I mean, she's 6'5".
Yeah.
So, that is something that we really wanted to address this spring and the summer.
How important was it for you? You spent the last 3 years at Northwestern State. How important was it for you to know this team because you saw them, their needs and what they needed to do, and know the league and how to kind of address matching what the league, what kind of a league it is, and what kind of talent was missing from here? Because this team needed to be more athletic, more physical, and needed more size. You could see that from there. How important was that?
That was very important. And when Coach Kennedy interviewed me for the position, and he asked me that same question, and I specifically told him, I said, Coach, y'all did not have a problem with scoring. It was just getting stops. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that we did in the recruiting process once I got here is that we needed to find what you call dogs, and that started on the perimeter. For example, with Tyrell Williams, data analysis says that when she was at South Alabama, when she was the primary on-the-ball defender, her opponent only scored 30% of the time, which is a good percentage. And so when you combine that with Paris, who also had a good percentage in defending, so now we have addressed the perimeter needs as far as defense. I talked about Wilney Joseph earlier, so now that gives us a bigger body and a defensive body in the front court. And then we also added Kyla Davis, a sharpshooter from University of New Orleans, who has been, just to be honest with you, she's been shooting the skin off since she's gotten here. Yeah. And so we're really excited about her. And also we also have Sydney McQuieter, who came from Fort Worth, and she had a couple of stops, and so she's ready to make an impact in the front court as well. And one player that we are really cautiously really excited about is Kiara Ellis from Shreveport. This young lady, she had some injuries at Arkansas State, but once she came here, our athletic training staff, Tiffany, our athletic trainer, has really done a really good job in getting her body ready for the season, and you can tell the explosiveness that she has, and I can't wait for the fans to see her and the rest of the players compete this year. One
thing I give you guys credit for, though, in a strange way, is you brought in a lot of newcomers you just talked about, but you had 5 freshmen stay on a team that only won 6 games. So you were able to sell them on the vision as well after they went through the tough year. How tough was that, and how important was it to keep those youngsters to kind of keep the pipeline going?
The great thing is about those returners is that with them being young, they got thrown into the fire early. Mm-hmm. And because of it, they got a lot of lumps put on them. But the thing about it is that when we brought the transfers in and out of the portal, one of the things that I told those returners is that my job in any recruiting situation, my job is always to bring players that I feel is better than the ones currently on the roster. That's the only way that a program can grow. Mm-hmm. I said, but the great thing is, y'all have been here a year. Y'all have seen the lumps and the bumps and the bruises of what can happen. And so you got a head start on everything. And so all of them have raised the game up too, as well.
Also the competition in practices, how much has that made them better?
I'm gonna tell you right now, we are so glad that the season is underway because it started. I'm just being honest. It started to get a little bit chippy probably about a month ago because they were really starting to get tired of scrimmaging each other. We have some practice male players that's going to be coming very soon, but they're really excited about the season and really excited to put their product against someone else.
Last thing I want to ask you is, and this is a big thing to me. This is the first year where the administration kind of invested in the summer and let the kids stay on summer, fed them through the summer so they could be. How important does that jumpstart the year to have them stay this year? Because women's basketball is always kind of dispersed during the summers. This year they were here.
Yeah, it was very, very important. And also from an academic standpoint, the great thing about McNeese State University is the fact that when those young ladies was able to stay here during the summer, not only get a chance to acclimate themselves with the returners and the newcomers, but they also got a chance to accelerate their coursework, which is really why they're here. Don't get me wrong, we're here to win, and those young ladies are here to play basketball, but they're also here to get a quality education that this university in Southwest Louisiana provides.
Mike Pittman's been our guest. McNeese opened up Monday night. They play Thursday night, the first doubleheader of the year with the men, and then on Sunday they will also play at 1 o'clock. 3 times to open up at home this week. Let's see if they get off to a good start. We'll be back with Matt's final thoughts after this.
Whether it's an injury case, a property case, or a business dispute, our lawyers are at the top of their game. Ask anyone who knows us. At Veron Bice, we don't enter popularity contests. The only ratings we care about are the verdicts we've obtained for our clients. Ask anyone who knows us.
Mike Pittman, interesting guy. I want to point this out about you guys, and this is probably changing your job a lot. You guys have gone to almost a major college way of recruiting in both football and women's basketball now with a recruiting coordinator. What have you seen as a difference there?
Not to throw any the coaches under the bus, but when you have a recruiting coordinator, there's a lot more details of these players that you get. A lot more of their stats, a lot more of their awards that they earn. It's just everything that they do. You get a lot more intel on them than what I'd usually get from a coach. Yeah.
But also, you're seeing much more detail into the recruiting process.
Oh
too.
yeah, absolutely. It's a nonstop thing now. You have your recruiting periods, but when there's a dead period, those recruiting coordinators are still working hard and gathering intel on these players, even though they can't be contacting them and everything. So it's a nonstop thing. This is pretty much like every season now. You have your off season, but do you really have an off season? Not really.
No. and for you guys, especially now, before it would just get to the high school and the stats are kind of weird and you don't know what the stats are. Now you're getting the stats that are coming from the NCAA.
Well, that part I love. When it came to updating the bios and everything on our men's team, it was very, very easy to go find that information. Yeah. Absolutely. So I love that part.
Yeah, I got to admit that you Google the name, you get everything you need to know about each individual player.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, talk about what kind of this whole thing has been for you guys with the upgrades in players and that, and getting the local players back, especially for the women's basketball. How much interest have you seen growing? Especially, a lot of people put it on Paris Guillory because she's obviously from St. Louis and that. But getting the kids from New Orleans, the girl from UNO, the transfer from UL,
right?
People that names have heard of. How much interest have you seen that grow?
A lot. Because if anybody can remember back in the day when we had a roster with a lot of Louisiana athletes, there were a lot of people here.
Yeah.
It wasn't here, but it was, in Burton Coliseum, a lot of people. So I think that draws a lot of interest. People want to come see local kids play. They're going to bring the fans. Because in this state, girls basketball is really good.
Yeah.
In high school. And at this level, it's really good too. So to be able to get players that have played this level, mid-major level, high schools around the area, it does draw a lot of interest, and it's really good. It's good for the program. It's good for the community.
It's easier to sell, too.
Absolutely.
All right. This is the weird one for us.
Okay.
I watched this the other day. The other day I see McNeese is the #1 basketball program
in the state.
In college.
Yeah.
Not mid-major, not in the state. I think that's kind of fun, but I also think there's a little dig at LSU for a little way. I think he enjoys that.
Of course he enjoys it, and it's a selling point too,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think it aggravates the people 60 miles to the east of us. Aggravates them a little bit,
Oh yeah, I think
which December 22nd is going to be fun.
Oh yeah. That's the UL game. You could play them again though. You could play them before that
at Paradise Jam. Yeah,
at the
absolutely.
Paradise Jam.
Yeah.
You get to go to the Paradise Jam?
We have our last home football game, 23rd. I'm not going to be able to do that.
We need to see the cowboy hat at the Paradise Jam.
Yeah. You'll see it at Alabama.
Oh, there you go. When you get on, is it different to be on TV on that kind of network?
Yeah, it is.
How much more work is it for you guys?
I don't know if it's more work because I try to keep the same amount of work. Whether the game Thursday night, I'll treat it as if we're on linear ESPN with what I do. But there's more attention, and there's going to be more interview requests and everything. So in terms of that, there's more.
All right, next week on Poke Nation, we'll see what they've done in certain games, and we'll see how the season has started, and we'll talk a little bit about football in Northwestern State next week on Poke Nation.